Welcome back to CAN, Caribbean Affiliate News. My name is Siobhan Gubin. This segment of the news is sponsored by Total Caribbean Network. In international news, President Barack Obama and his Russian counterpart, Vladimir Putin, shook hands, smiled, and made small talk about the scenery on Thursday. A public exchange of pleasantries belying a tense relationship that only seems to be getting worse. We've kind of hit a wall, Obama said of the United States' ties with Russia the day before he arrived in St. Petersburg for a global summit. With tensions mounting over issues including Syria, National Security Agency leaker Edward Snowden, and human rights, Obama and Putin did not plan to hold a formal bilateral meeting on the sidelines of the G20 gathering. A formal greeting outside the St. Petersburg Konstantin Palace was their only planned one-on-one public appearance. Parsing the body language between Obama and Putin has become something of a geopolitical parlor game every time the two leaders meet. But there wasn't much to work with this time. The exchange lasted about 15 seconds. Obama's black armored limousine pulled up to the palace where Putin was waiting to greet each of the leaders. The U.S. president was the only leader who used his own official vehicle for the arrival, opting not to use the summit-issued Mercedes the other 19 leaders used. The two leaders, both smiling, greeted each other with a handshake. Obama gestured toward the palace and the bright blue sky, declaring the location beautiful. Obama and Putin may talk again on the sidelines of the summit, including Thursday night at the leaders' dinner where Syria was expected to be discussed, but any discussion would be private. Differences over Syria have heightened tensions between Obama and Putin since the civil war they started more than 2 years ago. While the U.S. president has called for Syrian President Bashar Assad's ouster, the Russian leader has helped prop up the Syrian government both economically and militarily. Putin also has criticized Obama's push towards potential military action against Syria to punish it for an August 21st chemical weapons attack. Obama is seeking congressional authorization for a military strike, an endeavor with uncertain prospects. 3 Russian naval ships were sailing towards Syria in the eastern Mediterranean today, and a 4th was on its way, the Interfax news agency reported, citing a source at Navy headquarters. Kremlin Chief of Staff Sergei Ivanov said Thursday that Russia was boosting its naval presence in the Mediterranean Sea, but primarily in order to organize a possible evacuation of Russians from Syria. He did not say how many vessels were being sent. The prospect of increased Russian naval presence near Syria has stoked fears of a larger international conflict if the United States orders airstrikes over an August 21st chemical weapons attack in a suburb of Damascus in the Syrian capital. The U.S. already has numerous warships in the Mediterranean. 2 Russian amphibious landing vessels and a reconnaissance ship have passed through the Dardanelles Strait, according to the report carried by Interfax, a privately owned agency known for its independent contacts within Russia's armed forces. 3 Russian warships were seen sailing through the Bosporus in Istanbul, Turkey on Thursday. It was not immediately clear if they were the same 3 vessels, although that seemed likely. Interfax reported that another landing ship had left the Black Sea port of Sevastopol this morning and was to pick up a special cargo before sailing toward the eastern Mediterranean. The state RIA Novosti news agency also said that the landing ship Nikolai Filchenkov would be headed towards Syria after picking up a cargo, which it said would take several days. The Defense Ministry said it was unable immediately to confirm the ship's departure. The Foreign Ministry issued a statement today warning the U.S. and its allies against striking any chemical weapons storage facilities in Syria. In New York, a teenage remote-control helicopter enthusiast flying one in a park on Thursday was struck in the head by it and killed. Roman Pizarnik Jr., 19, was pronounced dead at a Brooklyn park near a busy parkway, and initial reports suggested he was killed by the helicopter's blade, police said. The accident occurred in Calvert Vaux Park, where operating remote control helicopters is allowed in designated areas. A club for hobbyists, the Seaview Rotary Wings Helicopter Club, flies its aircraft from a field there. Perozek's father, Roman Perozek, is a vice president of the club. He and other club members didn't return messages seeking comment on Thursday. Police said they didn't suspect any criminal act was involved in the teenager's death. They didn't immediately release the model and make of the helicopter he was flying. That particular make is on the larger side of remote control helicopters, said Rich Hansen, a spokesman for Muncie. Hansen said the helicopter has an almost 4.5-foot wingspan and can reach speeds up to 60 miles per hour, but is used primarily for tricky acrobatic maneuvers. Perozek's death, Hansen said, likely is only the second ever caused by a remote control helicopter in the U.S. He said some years ago an instructor in Texas was killed by a remote control helicopter after the student he was teaching lost control of it. An embattled Montana judge is poised today to try to undo his lenient sentence in the case of a teacher who raped a student, despite warnings from both prosecutors and the defense that he doesn't have that authority. District Judge G. Todd Bohr stoked a furor when he sent a former Billings senior high school teacher, Stacy Rambold, to prison for just 30 days. The 71-year-old judge suggested in court that the 14-year-old victim shared responsibility in the case. The girl committed suicide in 2010 while the case was pending. After apologizing for his comments, Bohr now says a 2-year minimum prison sentence appears mandatory and that his original sentence appears to be illegal. On the judge's order, Rambold was returned from Montana State Prison for resentencing hearing in Billings today. But the state already has appealed the case, and both prosecutors and the defense say only the Montana Supreme Court has the power to fix any mistakes made at the sentencing. On Thursday, the Montana Attorney General's office submitted an emergency petition asking justices to block the Friday resentencing. State attorneys said that the hearing would cause a gross injustice to an orderly appeal. Bohr said earlier in the week that he intended to hold the hearing even if he was the only one who shows up. His office said late Thursday that the hearing would proceed. Rambold's attorney said in the office in a Thursday court brief that a new sentence will only create confusion and uncertainty for all parties. Attorney Jay Linsing also said the original sentence, 15 years with all but 31 days suspended and a 1-day credit for time served, was appropriate under the law. Further complicating the matter is the fact that Bohr never signed a written sentencing order after making his oral pronouncement in the case during an August 26 hearing. The oral order takes precedent in Montana, but the written judgment still is required. You're watching Caribbean Affiliate News. We will be right back.
Excuse me, if you see me smiling, that's 'cause I'm chilling on Total Caribbean Network. It's your boy Wyclef Jean, man, and I'm chillin', man. Total Caribbean Network. Man, I love their style. Whoa, 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 whoa.
Since we announced Sign and Drive with zero out of pocket and low monthly payments, cars been flying out of Bronx Honda at a record pace. Whoa! New Accord with zero out of pocket for $249 a month, or new Civics just $199 per month, or save thousands with 0% financing. You never had to leave the Bronx to get the best price on the Honda. Bronx Honda guarantees the lowest price in the Bronx. Bronx Honda, East Tremont Avenue. Visit BronxHonda.com.